Have you ever wondered how a brand new tech project actually launches? You know, how it goes from just being an idea to something real you can use. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that whole process. We're going to follow the story of a new privacy-focused protocol called Pulse, and we'll see exactly how they built up the hype step by step, right up to their big testnet launch. All right, so first things first. What is Pulse? At its heart, it's a brand new project, and they're laser-focused on building inside the Midnight ecosystem. And Midnight is all about one thing, something that's becoming more and more important: privacy. And this is how they come out of the gate. Boom. A simple sentence, but it's super powerful, right? It sets a huge goal right away. They're not just making another little privacy app. Nope. They're telling the world they're here to lead the way into a whole new era of privacy. It's a classic move, really. You create this big, exciting story around what you're building. But you know, big words are one thing. Actually delivering is another. And they get that. So right after their big statement, they follow up with this. They're basically saying, hey, we're not just dreaming about this stuff. We're in the trenches actually building the nuts and bolts to make it all happen. That's a huge deal for any serious tech project. Okay, so they've got the vision and they've got the ambition to build it. But what's the actual game plan? Well, that's what a roadmap is for. And their goal? It's not small. They want to be the leading protocol on Midnight. So their plan breaks down into 4 key things. They're working on making it easier for people to provide liquidity. That's the money that lets the exchange work. They're also setting up staking, which lets people who hold their token earn rewards. And of course, partnerships, which are always important. But the real star of the show for us today is that first one, the public testnet launch. That's the main event. But before we jump into the launch sequence, it's always good to get a quick reality check. So let's take a quick snapshot of the project's numbers right before they started dropping all these big announcements.
So, let's talk money. At this point, they had about 468,000 ADA in trading liquidity. Now, that's a solid number for a project this early, but it's not like, world-changing just yet. It gives them a nice foundation to start from.
And that liquidity gives them a market cap of 1.3 million ADA. This number is basically the market's best guess of what the whole project is worth at that moment. It's a key number to keep in the back of your mind as we watch this launch unfold. And what about the people? The actual community? Well, at this point, only 206 holders. That tells you that Pulse was still very, very early. We're talking about a small, tight-knit group of believers. The big question is, can this launch change that? Can they bring more people into the fold? Now this is actually really interesting. 77% of all their tokens are already out there, circulating in the market. So why is that a big deal? Well, it means most of the tokens are already in the hands of the community, not locked away by the team. That's a good sign, because it lowers the risk of a huge dump of tokens later on that could crash the price. All right, so we've got the mission, we've got the plan, and we've got the numbers. Now it's time for the fun part. This is where the team really starts to build the hype, and the official countdown begins. And honestly, this is just a masterclass in building suspense. They start off super vague. Later this week. Okay, then they tighten it up a bit. Next couple of days. People are getting excited, right? They're leaning in. And then, finally, they drop the hammer. January 29th. The date is set. And then they drop a little gem like this. It might seem like just a small update, but it's so clever. They're not just telling you they're ready, they're showing you. They're giving you a little peek behind the curtain, and it shows confidence. It's their way of saying, look, we're not just talking a big game. We built something really cool, and we can't wait for you to see it. Okay, and here we are, the moment we've all been building up to. After all the hints, all the teasers, all the suspense, the official announcement is finally here. And there it is, in black and white. The AMM Privacy DEX is launching on January 29th. Now, if you're not deep in this world, an AMM, or Automated Market Maker, is basically the engine of a decentralized exchange, or a DEX. It's what lets people trade crypto without a bank or a company in the middle. The fact that Pulse is building one that's focused on privacy? Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And once the data is locked in, they bring it all back home, right back to that grand vision from the beginning. See, this isn't just them launching a product. This is an invitation. They're planting a flag and declaring that the future they promised is starting right now. So the launch is a go. The hype is definitely real. But as anyone who's ever built anything knows, a successful launch isn't the finish line. It's just the starting gun. The really hard work, that comes next. And this is exactly what you want to see. Right in the middle of all the excitement, the team just takes a breath and admits they still have a long road ahead. That shows maturity. It's a dose of humility in an industry that's often just full of hype. It's real.
And they leave us with this. It's not just a statement. It's a question. It's both a challenge and an invitation for the community to be part of the story. It's a pretty brilliant way to wrap things up. So what do you think? Can they really pull it off? I guess only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, it is going to be fascinating to watch.